How come you moved from the log cabin to the barn?
I think most of it was.
Were things going better?
Yeah, things were going better. My dad had a really good job, finally, and I think.
What did he do?
Oh, he was a mechanic, and he worked at a couple different factories. He worked at this this dessert factory. He also worked at a oven factory. He eventually started working at a pharmaceutical factory. He worked for Mylanta and Pepsid AC, the antacids, and he would just repair machines. Basically, he was a. It's a shame. He was a really good bass player, and he was in a bunch of bands in the '70s that had potential to get signed, but he was drafted into the Army when he was around my age. So he never actually had the chance to make it in the music business. So I feel like our parents were very supportive of us getting into music because they were never able to achieve their goals as artists when they were young. So they feel like they're kind of living vicariously through me and my sister.
What sort of music did he make in the 70s?
It was like psychedelic rock. It was
it's
like
good?
Yeah, it was cool. It was like Deep Purple, Pink Floyd, kind of weird stuff. You know, he was crazy. He was a total rocker. You know.
But you played with him, with the three of you?
Yeah, actually.
What did your mom do?
Our mom was she kind of took the role as a kind of tour manager. She kind of just she had a bunch of connections from when she was actually my dad's old band's manager, and so when we started getting into music, she still had some connections to promoters, to local booking agents for clubs and stuff, and we just started booking ourselves around Pennsylvania, and that's how we kind of got started. Was just booking shows at coffee houses and restaurants and libraries and stuff like that.
But
you know.
What was it for you to because you were saying, well, you had to be friends with your sister because it was only the two of you.
Yeah.
But then your dad played bass in the barn with the neighbors neighbors being at least supportive because they did sign a petition.
Yeah, actually, a lot of the neighbors actually liked the music, so they're like, no, we're not signing that. You know, so.
No, that's good. And but what did it do with your relationship with your mom and dad? It must have been more friendly based then.
Oh, it was great.
Friends based, I mean.
Because it was something that they could be involved in with us. You know, usually I think kids they go to school, they go to college, they have a career in something, and then they just kind of go away. But actually, our parents have been with us. Actually, it's only been a year since they haven't been working with us. They finally retired, and my mom, she lives in Florida. You know, like right by the beach. She loves it. Now they're just our parents. It's great. But for the longest time, they were working for us. And my dad started playing bass, and then and then eventually he got too old because we were little kids, and he was old. So so he got demoted from bass player to sound man. And we got another guitar player and bass player, and and we went through a lot of kid guitar player and bass players until we found Joe and Josh. But yeah, he was demoted from bass player to sound man because he didn't really fit the image. And then we found out he was.
What do you think of that?
He was fine with it. He was like, he felt kind of silly being this old man playing with these little kids. So then he started doing sound, and we realized he was tone deaf. So okay, you're not doing sound anymore. So we got a sound guy, and then we started touring in an RV, and he then became the RV driver and maintained the RV and drove us around. And then we realized that he drove the RV like a sports car. So we're like, all right, now you're just dad. So now his role is just dad, and he's fine with that. And same with our mom. She was tour managing us forever, and she was the best tour manager because she completely believed in us 150% and put in so much work. But as the band got bigger, and it started getting way too crazy, way too busy, it was time to bring in like someone who had more experience. So she had to retire, but it's cool now,
But you were saying she lives in Florida. Are they still together? Or?
Yeah. What's that?
Are they still together?
No, actually, they separated. I think it might have been just because we spent way too many years in an RV, this close to each other.
Yeah.
But it's okay. They're both separate and they're both happy. It was bound to happen at some point.
Was the music if you compare it to now, was it the same sort of music you made?
Oh, it was totally different.
Yeah? What sort of music was it?
I think it was more on the pop side when we first started playing. We were heavily influenced by 70s bands, bands like Zeppelin, The Who, Cream, and even 80s bands like Van Halen, Cinderella, all these, crazy 80s bands. So I think that we the music kind of like had more of that sound to it. And then as we got older and matured, I think that the music matured with us.
Okay, so then now it's more like you want to sound yourself.
Yeah. We like the music we're playing now. I mean, we've always liked the music that we've made, but I think if you listen to, any of our back catalog, you can see how we've evolved musically over the years.
I have to check one thing.
Check two.
That's good. The albums is 2009 was the release of your first album, Halestorm. It's called.
Yeah.
There were, I don't know if it's true, but the songs were also written with Howard Benson,
yes.
the producer. What did he bring to your sound?
Well, he didn't do any writing, but he was a good.
He is credited in the songwriting or so.
Oh yeah, I think because he helped us tweak the songs, and he's a really good song producer. He's really good. He's good at listening to the song and making it better, and he did a good job with the producing the vocals. That's pretty much his forte. He's a really good vocal producer, and he really brought a lot of personality out of Lzzy when she started singing. Because like I said, we'd made studio albums before, but we never really had any really big time studio experience. So he was a really good producer for us with our first experience in a major studio, and I think he does that with a lot of bands. He's good at developing new bands. So I mean, I liked working with him. I thought he was great.
But you also worked with him on the second album.
Yeah, and the second album was even better because with the first record, it was all kind of thrown together pretty quick. We had a long time to write the songs and to get them together, but when it came down to recording, it was all done, pretty. It was kind of recorded like it would be in a factory. We did the drums in 2 days, then we did the guitars in a week, and then we did the vocals, and then we were done. And then they edited it. With this new record, we actually started the writing process in the studio, and we actually had like a week. In the studio to start playing the songs together, and started writing and developing the songs all together in the studio. It was pretty cool actually, getting to play together and write the songs and hear it back, in a studio environment.
So how do you write the songs now? Is it the two of you, or?
It's really never the same twice. I mean, I think with most of the songs in this record, it was usually it was kind of the four of us in the studio, and one of us would bring an idea to the table, and then we would just play together, and we would write all the musicianship, all the different musical parts and everything together, and that was really nice because it was a really good collaborative effort with all of us. But really, like when we're on the road like this, it's all of us just kind of. We all have GarageBand on our iPads or iPhone, and it's really nice for just getting ideas out. When we're on the road, it's mostly just getting small ideas together, and then when we get off the road, we'll all sit together and we'll kind of compile any good ideas that we hear and try to work off of that. And, it's really the process is really. There's several ways to do it, but
The album is called Strange Case of.
Yeah.
Who came up with the album title?
The album title kind of came from the overall finished product. We pretty much had all the songs written. Actually, almost all the songs written, and we realized that half of them were very heavy, half of them were very intimate. And the reason for that was because when we first started writing and recording the record, we had just gotten off the road. We finished 3 years of touring. We were all amped and excited to make a new record, so we had one day to pack and flew out to Los Angeles the next day. And then we went into the studio the following day. So we had like pretty much one day off before we started making the next record. And that was really good because it kind of, I think that we worked better under pressure. You know, we went out to California, they booked the studio for a week, and we're like, all right, we have a week to write the first half of the record. So we pretty much just sat down and cranked it out. You know, Joe just started coming up with riffs. I started coming up with beats and rhythm, and Lzzy started coming up with melodies, and we all started coming up with different song ideas, and we all just kind of, you know, we just chased anything that got us excited, and we're like, all right, let's work on that, you know. And so we started writing really heavy songs like Love Bites, Miss the Misery, Freak Like Me, and these are all songs that were written, you know, after touring and playing in front of large audiences and playing in front of festival crowds and seeing how crowds reacted to our songs. I mean, you know, after touring for 3 years, we started playing our first album, you know, the songs of the first album, you know, those were the songs we were playing live. And we started changing them to appeal, to have more energy when we play live. Because a lot of people would say, you know, I like your album, but you guys have way more energy live, you know. So for this record, we wanted to bring that energy to this recording. So yeah, that was something that we did. We just wanted to write the you know, the craziest, heaviest stuff. Our mentality was, is this going to be fun to play when we're on tour and we're playing live? And so we did that. But then after that, we took maybe 2 weeks, and after our producer went on vacation, so we were like, oh, now what do we do? You know, we wrote the first half of the record, and then we were at the beach, and in this apartment, we're like, well, they were going to send us home, and we were like, no, we want to keep on working, you know, because we were focused. We were like, no, we want to make the record. And everyone was like, well, everyone's on vacation, you should take a break. I'm like, we don't know how to take a break. We were really inspired, and we're like, we wanted to write more. So when we got to the apartment at the beach, it was very, very peaceful. It was very nice. We got to kind of relax, and it kind of was a little bit of a vacation. But really, our minds never stop thinking musically. So we started writing and these more intimate songs. And Lzzy started coming up with these really intimate lyrics. You know, this one song called "Let Me in Your Room" was one that spawned a whole series of the softest side of the album. Songs like "Beautiful with You," "Break In," "Here's to Us," "Rock Show," and these songs were kind of inspired by our relationships with our fans and our family and that kind of stuff. So.